Hello and welcome to CTV News Across Canada for Tuesday, February 17th. We've got the top local stories from coast to coast. Stories that affect you and the country. Thanks for joining us.
A family outing turned tragic Sunday afternoon. Around 4:30, a Jeep was turning at the intersection of Hull Avenue Southwest and Horton Road Southwest as a couple pushed a stroller through the marked crosswalk. Their toddler was hit. Gina Caudry and Anthony Salazar, along with their 1-year-old Maya, were driving home from a restaurant when they noticed a crash scene just off McLeod Trail and Heritage Drive Southwest.
We saw lights here. There was a whole bunch of police. We saw a stretcher being pulled out, and then, we were kind of confused of what was happening. We were devastated because we actually walked little Maya here like every other day.
The toddler died in hospital. Neither of the adults sustained any injuries. At this point, police say speed and impairment are not considered factors, and there's no indication distracted driving is a cause either. The driver stayed at the scene and is cooperating with investigators.
It's not only concerning, it's an absolute tragedy. There's 2 parents who lost their 2-year-old child today, and I think as a city that should be shocking and disappointing.
The city has seen 7 fatal crashes so far this year, including 3 pedestrian fatalities.
I think it's incredibly concerning at this point. To see a number as high as 7 only 6 weeks into the new year is definitely alarming. I think it's a good reminder that as we're driving and as pedestrians, we need to be aware of our surroundings. We need to be taking care of each other.
People in the area say improvements need to be made to keep pedestrians safe.
Pedestrian blinker, the yellow lights, that'd be, bare minimum.
Probably better lighting and control.
Others say drivers need to be more careful.
A lot of young people like to drive fast, and I would just say be cautious.
Tyler joins us from that crash scene tonight. Tyler, this is just a devastating accident, and it comes after a deadly year for pedestrians in 2025.
Tara, last year, 15 pedestrians died on city roads. Now, police say 3 fatalities this early in the year is concerning, especially with winter weather returning to the city over the next few days.
Okay, Tyler, thank you.
While police tape indicates a ski resort shut down by an emergency, a small pink pony and a bouquet of flowers leaves the lasting impression of how young the person at the center of it was. First responders say a 13-year-old girl had a piece of clothing get caught in a chairlift at Centre Volage while on a school trip last week, and that she was left stuck out of her seat high above the ground. Too high for anyone to rescue before emergency crews arrived. By the time she got back to the bottom of the hill, she was in critical condition. That was Wednesday. Now, less than a week later, her family says they are devastated to share she did not survive. Releasing this joint statement with the Children's Hospital in Ottawa, they also say this: "We would like to extend our love to all of those affected by this terrible tragedy. We are also grateful for everyone who took heroic action to help save our precious child. Her sweet, bubbly spirit and love for those around her will live on through the lives she has touched and the lives she has saved through Trillium Gift of Life organ donation." The popular ski resort has been closed since the day it happened, but is scheduled to reopen Tuesday, issuing the following statement: "Safety remains an absolute priority for our entire team, and the resort will continue its efforts to ensure a careful and respectful return to normal operations for everyone affected by this tragic accident." Even then, Ottawa's largest school board is suspending all ski trips involving chairlifts, and the investigation isn't over.
Not only there's a police investigation, but now there's a coroner investigation. So a coroner was named on the Ontario side. That person will work closely to our detective. Same goal. We want to know what happened that day.
A horrible discovery at the very end of a Moncton street has left this neighborhood shaken.
So when things like this happens, it rattles a whole community.
The body of a woman was found inside a garbage bin at the end of High Street early yesterday afternoon. Police are treating the sudden death as suspicious.
The officer inspected the garbage can and pulled the woman out to check to see if she had any vitals, and she was deceased.
Graham Hill's roommate noticed the garbage bin right outside his door and thought it seemed odd.
He he was disturbed because he went to see what it was, and when he looked in, he saw an arm. He called 911 and ran in to get me because he wanted to talk to somebody. He didn't want to go through that on his own.
Her age and identity are not known, and no arrests have been made as of yet.
It's just getting crazy. Like, I mean, the town, the city, they have to do something, you know? It's between the drugs and violence, it's just getting out of hand.
The RCMP also conducted an operation a few blocks away early this morning in connection with the suspicious death investigation.
It's disturbing. We get a lot of homeless people around this area. So at the end of the road, we often get shopping carts and garbage that's been gone through, and that's what my roommate thought he had seen.
New Brunswick's RCMP Major Crime Unit is investigating. Police say an autopsy has been scheduled to confirm the woman's identity and to determine her exact cause of death. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Lucy's dog crate sits empty on Lauren Coates' kitchen floor, her food bowl still full of food. Coates says the one-year-old Australian Kelpie they rescued 6 months ago and that was being trained to be her therapy dog was stolen on Wednesday while Coates and her partner were at work.
She's very valuable, and she's a loved family member of our family, and I need to bring her home.
Coates believes Lucy was stolen because of her breed and the price tag attached to Australian Kelpies.
A Kelpie can go anywhere from $2,000 to all the way up to $10,000.
Coates says she is aware of 3 other Australian Kelpies stolen in Grey Bruce within the past 2 weeks. She fears someone will start using Lucy and the others for breeding.
She's my therapy dog, and with my mental health, the way it's been going lately, she's the one that calms it.
Coates says the thieves who took Lucy also snatched her late mother's jewelry. She and her partner say they don't feel safe in their own home anymore. But she holds out some hope that Lucy will find her way back to them somehow.
I'm a firm believer in hope. Lucy actually is my hope. Lucy's always been my hope since the day we got her, the day we rescued her from a really bad situation.
Near Hanover, Scott Miller, CTV News.
SAAQ leak was too big, too much, and rolled out too fast. That's what the commission led by Judge Denis Gallant concluded.
Le programme était trop vaste.
In the nearly 600-page report, the commission finds top management at Quebec's Auto Insurance Board, the SAAQ, deliberately misled government officials about the total cost of the online transformation project. The shift was supposed to cost $500 million, but ended up doubling in cost. SAAQ leak was supposed to modernize services for Quebec drivers, but after launching in February 2023, it was plagued with problems, which led to massive backlogs and long lineups outside service centers. This eventually led to an investigation by the Auditor General and the Gallant Commission. While the report shows government officials were mostly kept in the dark, it also states the former CEO of the Crown Corporation informed the Premier's office and then Transportation Minister Geneviève Guilbeault about cost overruns in 2023. But Premier François Legault insists his government had no idea the revised budget climbed to $1.1 billion.
Jamais mon gouvernement a été informé que le coût révisé total du projet SAAQ était rendu à 1,1 milliard.
However, opposition parties are not buying it.
Obviously, they lied to us.
All these ministers, they received the information that we are over budget.
With the PQ calling on Legault to take action.
What will he do with Minister Guilbeault when the report clearly states that she did know?
The report also reveals that even a month before its launch date, the digital platform wasn't ready. Still, management pushed to move forward. Part of that team included Carl Malenfant, who was VP of Information Technology at the time. Gallant's report cites that Malenfant's strong personality prevented many bodies within the SAAQ to fully perform their oversight and control programs. Last week, Malenfant rejected all the blame, saying he was a target of a character assassination. What many called the SAAQ fiasco eventually led to the resignation of the minister responsible for cybersecurity and digital technology last year, and the head of the Crown Corporation was fired 5 months later. The report has 26 recommendations. The first is creating a centralized entity that oversees and controls digital transformation projects like this one to help ensure the SAAQ fiasco doesn't happen again. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News, Quebec City.
As a mother of children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, Yara Shabtai knows firsthand how difficult navigating the health system can be.
We went to see different clinicians at different places. First of all, it was very busy. It was also very fragmented. The clinicians were not talking to each other, and nobody made sure that we have one integrated plan that we can follow.
As she became educated about ADHD and the tools that helped her own family, she knew it was something she wanted to share.
I was just so amazed of how things have shifted in my own family and how things changed in our family dynamic, in the environment. We have much less tension, so I wanted other people to experience it too.
She created the new NeuroWise Edmonton ADHD Centre that gives people with ADHD access to the services and professionals they may need in one place.
The whole ecosystemic approach is a pretty new approach to client care. Clinicians understand that there has to be something that is connected, that is integrated in order to support every aspect of a person's life, especially in ADHD, because ADHD affects all area of life.
Services at the new centre are not currently covered by Alberta Health, only by private health insurance.
But it is something that we think about a lot, and we do think about how to make it more affordable for everyone.
There are currently 7 specialists working at the centre, from psychologists to dietitians, with more to be added in the near future.
I come almost every morning and I open the door and I have chills and I have tears in my eyes because I'm very excited to see it come through.
The ADHD Centre's official opening is this Saturday. Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
We've also had a pretty stagnant air mass over the area, not a lot of motion in the atmosphere.
As a result, there was an increase in the Air Quality Health Index, 7 Sunday morning, climbing to 10 today. Environment Canada issued an air quality warning for our area over the past couple of days.
A combination of local pollutants developing, as well as advecting some in from the southwest. We had a light southwest wind that could bring in pollution from down in the U.S. So a combination of factors looks like resulted in that spike.
Environment Canada meteorologist Jeff Colson says there were higher readings at their downtown Windsor observation site, those levels gradually diminishing throughout the day. And Colson says rain combined with highs of around 12 to 13 degrees on Wednesday will help.
A mixing of the wind as well as some precipitation should lead to a better air quality situation in general for the day on Wednesday.
Warmer weather has quickly melted the snow.
It's gross. Yeah, it's gross. Like, I feel like disgusting.
Uncovering a lot of debris in snowbanks, against fences, on the streets, and one very noticeable trend, a lot of coffee has been consumed this winter.
Like, kids that have to grow up like seeing garbage everywhere on the ground all the time, no matter, and they're gonna start thinking that's normal, just leave garbage on the ground instead of throwing it out.
City Councillor Ronaldo Agostino is encouraging residents to talk trash. He wants residents to call 311 or send him a message to help identify hotspots for garbage.
I want to know where the garbage is so we can send our crews out there. We've got a great team at the City of Windsor. We've got St. Leonard's House. We've got people out there doing this, but we don't know unless you tell us.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
A plan to restrict protests in Winnipeg could be scrapped following backlash that it infringes on people's right to peaceful public gatherings.
My comment is that this should never have happened.
The Mayor's Executive Policy Committee is set to vote on a new bylaw where rallies deemed as nuisance demonstrations would be banned within 100 meters of a number of buildings, like schools, daycares, places of worship, and hospitals. Violations could net fines of $500 to $5,000. But now, Councillor Evan Duncan, the city's chair of the Property and Development Committee, is recommending EPC and Council shelve the bylaw after getting an earful.
I genuinely took the information and I looked at it and I saw maybe this is too broad of a stroke.
There is some relief among those opposed that the bylaw might not be passed.
Very welcomed news.
Dozens are still registered to speak against it at EPC.
This proposed bylaw is extraordinarily concerning. It potentially limits everyone's ability to protest.
A city report says Toronto and Calgary have similar bylaws, but some feel this wouldn't hold up in court.
This is just rife for a constitutional challenge, and I wonder the circumstances in which this was presented to council, where there's been no consideration of the larger charter issues.
Duncan says the aim of the bylaw was not to prevent peaceful protests. It was intended to protect people from being intimidated.
I want to make sure that the grandmother going into the health clinic feels safe. I want the child that's going into the school to feel safe.
Now, there may be groups who are in support of this. Representatives for the Centre for Israel and Jewish Affairs and B'nai B'rith Canada are registered on the EPC agenda tomorrow in support of the bylaw.
Jeff, if this is shelved then and doesn't see the light of day, could another version of the bylaw be brought forward?
Potentially. We asked Duncan that question. He says they'll now be looking at Bill C-9. That's a federal bill that deals with propaganda, hate crime, and access to religious facilities. He says that law might suffice and accomplish what they were trying to achieve here. He says if there are gaps, they could bring something back one day, but he's promising more community consultation if there is a next time.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff.
Eggs and milk are known to be common allergies early in a child's life.
Those tend to resolve by about age 6 to 8. In most individuals, about 80%.
But for the other 20%, food allergies can continue to pose a lifelong threat. McMaster researchers have been looking at 342 risk factors for babies developing food allergies.
International data, over 40 countries, and 2.8 million participants in 190 different studies.
They identified 4 factors as the most important: a family history of allergies, eczema as a baby, delayed introduction of common allergens such as eggs, peanut, or fish, and early use of antibiotics. Dr. Derek Chu says in some cases, antibiotic use in babies is essential, but in borderline cases, families and physicians should be aware it could be a factor in developing food allergies. Chu also says eczema is like a window to the immune system and an early indicator of a sensitive immune system.
What's showing in our studies that if you delay food allergen introduction, it actually increases the risk quite a bit, and consequently, if you introduce early, might protect.
Food Allergy Canada says this publication confirms that food allergy development in children is influenced by multiple factors. Early introduction and continued inclusion of allergenic foods, central to our Eat Early, Eat Often guidance, has shown promising results in reducing food allergy risk. Their website offers guidelines to introduce common allergens, like milk and eggs, to babies between 4 and 6 months of age, in the form of yogurt or mashed boiled eggs, for example, and make sure you keep them in your child's regular diet.
Risk factors are just risk factors. That means it's not a guarantee.
But he says being aware of them can allow us to monitor and tailor allergy prevention efforts for each child. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Following in the footsteps of another Northern Ontario township, Mattawa Town Council is urging the province to do more to protect the steel and lumber industries.
We still have a lot of people that depend in Mattawa, especially on the forestry industry.
Nairn and Hyman Township passed a motion in early December calling for urgent support. Municipalities across the north are facing uncertain economic challenges, including the shutdown of Mattawa's Tembec sawmill and Domtar, a pulp and paper mill in Espanola.
That really set us back quite a few paces.
Northern Ontario was built on these these industries, and I guess I can understand the frustration.
The town will send a notice of support to all levels of government, the Minister of Natural Resources, the Minister of Northern Development, and all Ontario municipalities.
Our Premier says, everything's on the table. We want to keep Ontario strong.
Fanum praised the federal government for tightening tariff rate quotas on foreign steel imports, opening roughly $850 million in domestic demand, while also allocating $500 million in new financing for softwood lumber firms, paired with a $500 million expansion of the Business Development Bank of Canada's Softwood Guarantee Program.
Making sure that we're firing on all cylinders and making sure that our smaller communities are ready to adapt and to take on the challenge.
Mattawa Council is requesting the province introduce additional financial, regulatory, and policy-based supports to ensure steel and lumber sectors remain competitive and are able to withstand ongoing tariff pressures.
If you can save losing jobs, it's worthwhile. Give a little to make a little.
According to the province, most steel made in Canada comes from Ontario, directly employing over 17,000 people. Forestry provides around 128,000 jobs, including many in rural and northern communities. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
From sled pushes and pulls to rowing and farmers' carries, you've entered the world of High Rocks.
High Rocks has basically taken over the world.
You may have heard of it, but what is it?
It is a functional fitness race. So there are 8 stations that we go through. Normally in a big race, we do 1 kilometer of running and then the stations afterwards.
At this Kitchener High Rocks event, hosted by Hybrid Series KW, a collaboration between F45 Dune and Limitless Performance, there is a twist: no running, just raw power.
The running is such a recovery component in the normal race, but really it's just a different way to get practice.
There are several divisions: individuals, doubles, pro, teams, and a new category called Young Stars for youth.
We are the first, I guess, racing business to bring young stars to Canada and North America, to be honest with you. So it is children ages 8 to 11 and 12 to 15 doing their first High Rocks race with us.
We caught up with some of the youth competitors at the finish line.
I practice, but not a crazy amount.
Easy breezy for Curtis, who treated this as a warm-up.
I got hockey practice.
His girlfriend Ashley competed too.
Oh my gosh, I was so out of breath. I'm not used to this kind of activity.
She's interested in doing High Rocks again, but that's enough activity for her for the day.
Well, I'm just gonna hang out with him until hockey practice.
About 350 athletes competed in the Family Day Fitness Challenge, all different ages and abilities.
It's allowed me to stay active and continue to have goals in my pregnancy. I'm 8 months pregnant.
Despite the extra cargo, she still only competed in the individual category.
Baby's really happy and active.
If you're looking to push yourself to the max, the next Canadian High Rocks race is in Ottawa in May. Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
Do you want to become when you grow up?
A musician.
He had an infectious smile ear to ear.
I'll miss everything about Abel. When you look at Abel, even without saying anything to you, the only thing that you see are his teeth. He always used to smile.
The Monza family moved to Canada from Zambia 3 years ago on a temporary work permit. Abel Jr. remembered as a good brother, ambitious, and someone always willing to lend a hand.
Some of them will say, oh, he was teaching my son how to ride a bicycle, how to skate, how to move on rollerblades. He was doing that. He was stopping a fight. So I want him to be remembered as a good boy.
Along with Abel, 12-year-old Takaria Lampert, 13-year-old Ezekiel Schofield, 39-year-old educator Shonda Avugana Durand, 12-year-old Zoe Benoit, and 12-year-old Kylie Smith also killed at the school. 11-year-old Emmett Jacobs, the shooter's stepbrother, and 39-year-old Jennifer Jacobs, their mother, were shot to death in the family home. 19-year-old Paige Hoekstra, who was shot in the chest, is recovering in hospital. And the father of 12-year-old Maya Edmonds, shot in the head and being treated at BC Children's Hospital, telling CTV News there's no developments as she continues fighting for her life.
I'm sitting here thinking about Maya.
Tributes are pouring in.
These things eat at your bones and drive your young mind crazy.
Like this song posted by 13-year-old Cairo on Vancouver Island. This woman in Smithers pinning a teddy bear on her front door. And all the way in small town Northern Ontario.
So they thought it would be a nice gesture to dedicate something to Tumbler Ridge.
A grade 7-8 class made up of students the same age as some of the Tumbler Ridge victims turned a day of snow sculpting into a show of support.
And when I went into the class on Thursday, the tragedy just happened. I showed the kids we were going to do this, or would you rather do a tribute, a dedication to Tumbler Ridge? And they all voted unanimously right off the bat. Can we do the one for Tumbler Ridge?
Messages of support honoring the lives lost. Kevin Chirac, CTV News.